Welcome to the His House. It goes down at the motherfucking His House. Like being at the motherfucking His House, where you get celebrity tea and gossip, make predictions. We sip tea and per tea live on stream, not edited, straight off the dome. And we sip tea at the His House. Get lit at the motherfucking His House. Sip tea and hear all about it. At the DJ motherfucking His House. You heard me? Yeah. Hey, what's up, my pretties? Hey, what's up, my lovelies? How you doing? How you feeling? Great. Well, now that I know you're doing pretty lovely, let's get into this pretty on me. We're here to talk about Miss Ellie Soul. All right. And if you don't know, she's kind of been missing for a couple months, which is like, I think the last video she posted was like 7 months ago, which is cool. Everybody deserves a break. Everybody needs a break from time to time. But if you don't know, there was a bit of conspiracy going on around Ellie's soul, you know. Um, and of course, she doesn't play about her family. She doesn't play about her child. Doesn't play about her man. So, and she said that she likes to be private. I get that, but when you came initially to Dalvin, it didn't give me that you were trying to be private. It gave me that you were willing to be a social media influencer. And she fit the description. Like, she looks good. She's a smart woman. Like, obviously. So it's like, why wouldn't we want to see you? You know what I'm saying? So I don't watch hardly any influencer like all the time, to be honest. I watch people sporadically. I actually haven't looked for Ellie Soul in about 7 months. But um or and but found out she doesn't have any videos because I'm like, dang, where's Ellie Soul? So I get in these modes where I just feel an inkling for things, and I'm like, what's going on with that? You know, nothing major, and I go looking for it, and I just noticed she's missing. Ellie Soul is missing. I'm not saying literally missing because I'm sure she's somewhere in TV land in this world abode, but she's just not posting that way. And no, I don't think I'm on her social media platforms. I think she said she has a Snap. Let me go and see. No, I ain't gonna do that. I was gonna say, let me go see if I can find her on Snap. I'll do that later. I haven't looked for her on Snap. I haven't looked for her on IG. I just know I was looking for her on YouTube, basically. And yeah, she's been very private because of the conspiracy that was around her pregnancy. And you may be like, what conspiracy was around her pregnancy? What are you talking about? Well, first of all, I'm gonna say this. I get the impression that Ellie Soul does not have to do YouTube ever again. I feel like she's secure in her life, in her womanhood, in her relationship to where she's good. I'm not saying she has to do relationship or spill anything about her at all. It does, for one, part of the conspiracy was she had broken up with her ex allegedly because they were not trying to have a baby and were not able to. They split up. It happens. She went to date Dalvin, who is a social media influencer. And it never gave me like she was just gun ho Dalvin all the way. Like, whatever. Dalvin was really popular through his mother, B Love's life, who was a mukbanger, and she got her kids, Dalvin and Darius, and her husband, accustomed to that and put them on, really. And so the fact that when Ellie showed up, it was like a breath of fresh air because Devin for so long was dating Nicole, of course, off and on, and she was a white girl who was associated with the family. And then here Ellie was a black woman who not only was she black, she looked good. And then some people try to question Davin's sexuality and so forth and so on, which, I mean, obviously he knows how to pick them, right? So at the end of the day, it was just a lot going on to the fact where Eliso and Dalvin uh were even sharing a toothbrush. Well, talked about sharing a toothbrush, and I think it didn't go that way. So people was like, are they cool or not? Because if you're gonna share a toothbrush with somebody, you kind of cool. And it threw me off because I'm like, I know she ain't feeling him like that for real. So she gonna use that toothbrush to fudge him up, or is she really like him like that? Because it never really gave me she really liked him like that. It was more so like she kind of knew that he liked her, but he really didn't like her like her. He liked her, but it was like he was just doing basically what she was doing, which was getting views for content. So anyway, they split, especially around the time after she went out of the country because she's not from here to visit her family and friends, and she had posted on her social media in the lap of some man that she later claimed was just her friend. But it was speculation that she could have been talking to other people while she was out of town because Davin was not there. She was just her and her family. And I remember one Pacific event that she had went and she was walking around with her sister and her family. So anyway, so at the time when she split, she kind of was like not in a good place, and she was trying to say she wanted a break, but it was also given like she was done with Dalvin, and people were speculating that he did her wrong. Well, a little bit at this time, she came up pregnant. And it was just ironic that she ended up pregnant because they literally just had broken up. But not necessarily that means that they had just broken up privately, but to us publicly, that's what we saw. So we're like, well, dang, this means this is probably Dalvin's child. Even though Dalvin denied it, B Love said she's staying out of it. And people were like, no, like this is a child, we like yada. And then Ellie kind of got frustrated, was like, look, don't play about this one, because she's had trouble conceiving before, and she was like, this is my child, yada. And so the situation is, she ended up getting back with the man that she had wanted a family with, and they had split. So obviously her preference was this other man. Now, I'm going to say this, and I can't say that right now, but I'm going to say it eventually. Because the tea was piping hot. Okay, so the deal is, I had forgot about it. I was just moving on. Even though I was like, it'd be crazy if this baby started looking like Davin. And somebody posted recently, somehow they got a footage of that baby, and they were like, this baby looks like Davin, Darius, all of them. Now me, I'm looking, I can't really see it then, but I know it was a picture of like the baby features that way back. I was like, oh yeah, that kind of reminds me of them. But this one, it was hard because Ellie, it looked, is a nice, attractive female. So it's like the baby was cute. Baby has nice hair. Her mom has nice hair. So when you have a child, they look like a mixture of both. And then two, just to say she looks like Dalvin, the man that she's with, we don't know what he looked like. The baby could look like him too. You know what I'm saying? But at the end of the day, I would say this: if a child is being found not to be a child from a person that's not the actual father, the child is more in jeopardy. Like the child's less love usually, and it doesn't very end well. Despite the fact of you may wanting a man, a child's always gonna have their heart to their original father. Not saying this man she's with is not her father. It's just part of the conspiracy. But I do know this: when you haven't conceived in 10 years, it could be some underlying influences at play. I'll say that. And if said influences were in place because of the man's doing, he may not have wanted a baby. I mean, he might have, but he may not. Or maybe somebody outside of the situation didn't want it. They made it. They may have tried to do some things. So that was what it was. Because I even didn't want kids and I end up not having any. It's a way to um make sure certain things happen. But all of a sudden she leaves this man and comes back with the baby. It and because she said basically as soon as they start trying it happened. But let's just say that this man already knows, like low key, he can't really have kids with her. And let's say this baby grows up, that leaves the baby vulnerable. Because at the end of the day, the man already knows that's not my child. Now, that's just speaking hypothetically, because hopefully the baby is his. But if it's not, that just leaves the baby open. Because you hear horror stories all the time that go on with little kids. Not saying that that's going to happen, but a man is not going to have the same compassion towards a little girl that's not his opposed to a little girl that is his. But I don't know. Because I don't know why a person would want somebody to go and have a baby outside of them and then come back to them unless they really had something done that they couldn't have kids. Like whether it was a surgery or they went to go see somebody, whatever. But I'm saying this, 10 years not having anything or inconsistent miscarriages says a lot. Like it may not be meant for that to have happened or even give you the ability for it to happen. Now, of course, people can change their minds. Of course, things can change. So hopefully the man really desired a kid enough to where this just happened. But somebody posted that they saw that the baby looks like all three, all four of the family members. I looked at the baby, I saw it, but I kind of didn't. It's hard to tell. But I will say the fact that it can be either way. The fact that Ellie is missing, it kind of like feeds on the conspiracy just a little bit harder because it's like we still don't know what the father's looking like, so we can't compare like, oh, this is his kid for sure, and we don't know what the baby looks like because she doesn't really post the baby. Now the picture that's floating around claiming to be the baby, I don't know how they would have gotten access to that unless it was a shady family member and Ellie, would probably figure that out on her own and deal with that or whatever. But it's like the fact that it was even out gives speculation that maybe even the own family may even suspect it. Which goes to the fact that the family member who was maybe behind the pregnancy not going for fruition those 10 years that they was together, or whoever that was could have been around her and leaked it. Because I ain't gonna lie, I've looked at people's kids before and I'm like, them ain't your kids, boss. I've done that. Then I've looked at them again later. I'm like, oh, maybe them is your kids, So things can change because babies are constantly going through this transition period. But I will say this, depending on if the man, which I think the man is fair skinned, am I tripping? Did I think I saw? I'm tripping. No, I don't think she acknowledged who the man was. Okay, so I can't really say because some of them could have been her family member. Okay, because she'd be around different people. But I will say this. If the baby does not look like the man at all, then that will have people questioning and wondering. And you don't want the people around you either. If you around people that know that you low-key fake the pregnancy to be with their person or whatever, they're gonna have animosity towards you, and they're gonna have animosity towards a child that leads like a bad situation with a child. Because it's really giving me, even though I really hate to say it, it's really giving me like she glowed up, like the man that she's with is supposed to be like well off. It gives me that because that's why I feel like she don't have to do YouTube, because I feel like he's a catch, a high value man, if that makes sense. And maybe that's one reason why she doesn't put him out, and one of the reasons why she tried for 10 years with him, and another reason why she went back to him and she wanted a baby by him so bad. That's what it's giving. Now, whether that's true or not is up for discussion because at the end of the day, we don't know. And she recently posted on one of her last couple of videos that she intentionally is going to listen to our advice from bloggers. We wouldn't know this if you didn't post it. So she's using that to her advantage, and she even said verbally that she's going to use that to her advantage. She's not going to post. So until Ellie speaks, she only will be having to deal with her own delusion or their lack of, and living her best life outside of the camera world. But I will say, I ain't gonna cap. If she does come back, it will have people dissecting. But at the same time, it's like I do kind of want to see her. I'm not gonna cap, but I am gonna be a person who gonna look, you know. But at the end of the day, if you know what it is, you know what it is. There's no need to hide. There's no need to not want to be seen. Kind of. I mean, and now speaking of person who don't want to be seen, I don't want to be seen for other reasons, not because I'm like I would gladly be seen. It's not that, because people have seen me. I've had my pace before, especially if you were in my old channel, you know. So it wasn't like that. I started from scratch because I listened to a dumb YouTube person that was trying to help guide me on something, and I deleted my whole ish, and plus I got in touch with like um anyway, the wrong kind of people. So at the end of the day, I'm not saying it's okay not to be private, but when you have a conspiracy going on around you and you're private, it just makes people wonder more. Now keep in mind, I hadn't even thought about Ellie. So she could have went 20 years and I wouldn't have cared too much, and I would assume the baby was just hers. But the fact that a picture of the baby got leaked allegedly, and the fact sorry, that the person in the photo was saying that the baby looks like B Love's entire family, it's like, what? It just got my eyes open. And to be honest, I'm cool with Ellie to the point to where I really enjoyed her as a woman, and I was interested in knowing what kind of content she was going to put out. So I generally wanted to watch her. But now, I do feel like the conspiracy is kind of outweighing the need to want to see her, and that's sad. But at the same time, you gonna get paid regardless. You get paid because people want to see you for a conspiracy, or get paid because people just want to see you in general. And I have a mixture of both. I do, because I mean, who got curls like the curl girl Ellie? You know, she has. I mean, she has the look. You know, she got her snapback back. She said she got her snapback back. So I don't know. I'm just curious to know what your thoughts of if there is an alleged baby running around that looks similar to Dalvin. Because they said the baby's one now, and they had did a party from her, and it was leaked by somebody who was close proximity, who saw the baby and thought enough to leak it because they thought that the baby looked like such and such. Does that mean that we really need to get to the bottom of this? And let's just say that the person she with already know that's not. You know what I'm saying? But you know, I hate to say it, but you know how you hear about some women who will pretend that a child is another man's for the perks and the thrills. But let's just say the whole time the man know. How is he really gonna see her? How is he really gonna see that child? You know what I'm saying? But then too, you can still overlook something. If you know you don't want kids, you can still date somebody who says a kid is yours just for the perks that you get from it too. But the whole time it's like in the back of your mind, you know, so you're gonna always be looking into her and not trusting her. But at the same time, it's like when you feel like it's convenient for you, you know, you can still live life. I'm just saying, if I knew somebody tried to, I'm not a man, but if if somebody tried to put a child on me and I knew it wasn't my child, I'm not saying that I would never accept it, but I'm always have my eye open out for the other person. So, with that being said, those are just my thoughts, and I want to hear yours. Definitely like, share, subscribe this video, especially if you made it past 3 minutes, because I feel like after 3 minutes and you still watching, then it was something on here you really wanted to hear, caught your interest. Because baby, if I'm not feeling something, I'm clicking it off. Less than 3 minutes, baby, within the first few minutes. Yeah. Welcome to the He's Out. It goes down. Welcome to the He's Out. Where we go down. Welcome to the motherfucking He's Out. Sip,